This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Back then when Oda was experimenting with power level, back in chapter 379 of One Piece, Oda did this thing where he played with this thing called Doriki. And Doriki was basically measuring power levels, and this did not include Devil Fruit power, it was just basically physical ability. Hockey seemingly wasn't included as well. So it should be taken with a grain of salt, especially since it was scrapped because, well, he didn't want to go the 7 deadly sins route. If you know, you know. So just using this as a base, right? Just loosely, because again, it doesn't exist anymore, but it's somewhat within the mind of Oda and how he thinks. Khalifa had a power level of 630, Fukuro was 800, Komodori was 810, Bluno was 820, Jabba was 2180, Kaku was 2200, and Rob Lucci was 4000. The average Marine soldier was 10 and Spandam was 9. Now, I don't want to go out on a limb, but I will here by saying I think Spandam back then can beat Koby when we got introduced to him in the story. I'm just gonna take that guess. And it's crazy because when you look at the numbers, again, we're looking at this loosely because this is not something Oda typically follows anymore. In One Piece and our own world, dreams matter. Look at Kuina's dream to collect the Matos. It's certainly going to need willpower. But the point here is for lofty dreams and goals, some aid is needed, and today's sponsor, Squarespace, could be just what you need. Squarespace is an amazing all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs and dreamers to stand out and succeed in the online space. It could be at the beginning of your journey or managing an established brand. Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website to engage with the audience or even sell products and even content. But that's not all. Imagine if Kuina used Squarespace to create a bounty website for the Mato. That would be through the help of Punk Records, of course, but this makes it at least attainable. Using 2 decades of design expertise, though, the AI technology is masterful at boosting your creative potential. Receive payments in just a few clicks and give your customers more ways to pay with methods like Apple Pay, even Afterpay. How do you do that? Well, you go to squarespace.com/B.D.A. law for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. But I like using it because it gives us an idea as to how Oda was thinking back then in regards to just strictly physical ability. Rob Lucci was 400 times stronger than the average Marine soldier. Insane to think about. So when Shaki says to Luffy and the Supernova that Rayleigh was 100 times stronger than them, it doesn't feel that crazy. It actually makes sense. But all that to say, Koby has had the most insane growth in the series, and Koby's ceiling might mirror the likes of Luffy, Zoro, Yamato, and even Momonosuke. Yeah, okay, to put this into context, like again, using where Koby came from, which is pre-Spandam, so maybe a power level of 5, 4, because he was a weak, frail child, to where he is now as a captain, Koby's growth has been asinine. Here's the question, and we won't get too deep into it right now, but if you had to pick between current Koby versus pre-time skip Luffy, how would that go? I know, the last time Luffy met Koby, it did not end well for him, but this was Koby months off of being ultimately one of the weakest characters in the story. What about 2 years later? If we could get this matchup, Koby currently after the Honesty Impact versus Luffy pre-time skip, how would that go? The fact that it's even a conversation is scary in and of itself. But I think the thing about Koby that stands out, it's not just the fact he's trained by the Marine hero, maybe the strongest person in the story, considering just pound for pound. And why I say that is because Garp is a man with no devil fruit, no weapon, just his fists. And he was rivaling the likes of someone like Roger, who had a Mato, right? And every other top tier, for the most part, they have weapons. Think of them from Kaido, right? Devil fruit and weapon. Luffy, devil fruit and lineage. Okay, let's just devil fruit. Shanks, Mato, Mihawk, Mato, even the admirals, Sengoku, devil fruits. Garp is legitimately the only person in One Piece that is walking in with just himself, and he's legitimately a top tier. Not even the likes of Sanji and Zoro can say that. They have blades. Sanji has a lineage factor. Garp is just him and his fists. And so he's the perfect person to train someone like Koby, who is the same way. But again, it's not just the fact that Koby's trained by Garp. It's not just the fact that Koby has had this crazy growth rate. It's his will, it's his mindset, it's his dreams. Koby is the MC of the Marines. I think that's how we got to start looking at Koby, that he is the main character of the Marines. Another main character I compared Koby to, and some people added some names in there. I was like Tanjiro. Somebody said Ippo. People were even saying Deku, and I can see all of these characters, but for the most part, this is the main character for the Marines, and he is going to bring about a change. And that's why Garp was laughing after the Honesty Impact, because he realized that he got one. He got somebody that's pure of heart, insane will, insane drive, and just straight up just an honest kid. The fact that he called that great attack Honesty Impact tells you a little bit about who Koby is as a person and as a character. Every single time you've seen Koby, it's been just the purest of actions in everything he's done. From him sacrificing himself for the Marines, from him trying to save pirates from getting killed or hurting, which ultimately led to Garp getting stabbed, which shows his naivete. But he is just so pure of heart that Garp's impact and Garp's teachings, I think they're going to matter. But the whole purpose of Koby is to be strong enough so the things that Garp believes in is not going to matter. For instance, Garp thinks that if you have an old man and a baby, you save the baby, rather. The old man, he's old enough, he's older, he's lived his long life. The baby deserves a life, so the old man should die. Koby more than likely disagrees with that and thinks that, well, I'm going to be strong enough so that I don't have to sacrifice everyone. Very MC, just delusional view. But that is what Koby is. That is what he represents. He is the bright, shining light of the Marines. And Garp realizes that. Now, we're not going to get into why Garp would slide for Koby and not slide for someone like Ace, because these are completely different situations. However, it would be remiss of me not to mention that Garp doing this for Koby, Ace didn't have zero effect, right? There's no way he didn't think of Ace when he found out Koby was captured. It crossed his mind, but it's much easier to go save a fellow Marine than to go save the son of the most notorious pirate in history. It just feels a little different. But for Koby, at this point, you really have to worry about his growth because it is coming fast. Actually, let me rephrase that. He is growing at an astronomical rate, and Honesty Impact is honestly, no pun intended, already one of the most devastating attacks in the story. And we have no idea exactly what's happening. I know people are going to say it's advanced conquerors. There's some people that still think Koby doesn't have conquerors and Garp doesn't have conquerors. Can I give you a definitive answer? Not really, right? Because if you use the anime, and again, speaking of the animators, some people use black lightning, some people don't, some people use red lightning. You can't really use that to surmise Conqueror's Haki, but he's already using an advanced technique that can obliterate, for the most part, because it still had debris falling, etc., obliterate a rock hand, right, that was basically the size of a small island. And so I think for Koby, we really have to celebrate this character because he's come such a long way. And I know some people may say as a character, he's very cookie cutter, very safe, likable, but there's still depth and things needed to make him basically a top tier character because he's straightforward. He is, again, the prototypical MC. Everyone needs to be saved. He's going to be strong enough. He's going to do whatever it takes. He's going to be gullible every now and again, but he's just a good, honest kid. What would Koby need to truly ascend into one of the, great written characters in the story? I'm not sure, because typically characters like these aren't as celebrated by their fandom. You like them, you love them, but they're not viewed as, oh, they're the best written characters in the story, because typically characters revolve around them and their purity. So for me, I have a new appreciation for Koby after this recent episode, not only because of him using Honesty Impact, but just how it made me realize what Koby means. He means a lot to the Marines. He is their shining hope. Koby and what he's going to bring to the Marines is going to be insane. And just how the other Marines greeted him after the Honesty Impact, from Groose to Hibari, they all look at Koby as next up, and he is revered as such. And I think, again, if you look at Koby as the MC of the Marines, everything makes more sense, because that growth rate being even greater than Luffy's, again, Luffy was training for a decade with his Devil Fruit and with Ace and with Garp and with Sabo. Then he came out and he was cool. He was strong. Koby was training, right, for basically 2 years. And he's already rivaling the likes of vice admirals. You would argue that Koby has been more impressive than most of the vice admirals in 2 years. From, again, pre-Spandom, less than Spandom in regards to physical ability. And again, Koby doesn't have a devil fruit, just getting into the hockey realm. So this is crazy. I really wanted to put it in perspective because what he's doing is actually nuts. And I would say it here. I did gas Koby like 2 or 3 years ago. I made a video talking about Koby should beat Boy Hancock. Oda did a much more interesting thing with what he did with Koby getting captured and Hancock and Rayleigh pulling up, etc. But I thought Hancock was the opportunity for Oda to show what Koby was and where he stood. Honesty Impact did that as well, even though we would like to see a bit more from Koby in regards to acting on the fly and being able to make these decisions in battle, because he made a few mistakes, but he's still a very young Marine. The growth is there, the will is there, the heart is, bro, battleship bags to go through training every day, but before ending the day, going and hitting this battleship bag because you have this insane will and drive to be great. Koby is legitimately going to be a top 10 character in regards to strength by the end of the story. As far as him being as a character, it remains to be seen, just because, again, this archetype is difficult with them. But yeah, what do you think, guys? Did Honesty Impact move you? I think the production of that episode was fantastic. They absolutely nailed it. I can't say enough good things, but Koby, Pink Mamba, I'm all aboard the Koby hype train. It is real and is legitimate. And if you're not jumping on it now, I'm sorry, but you're going to be too late if you wait any longer. Shout out to that boy Koby, man.